10. My mom picked Gates and me up at the side door to the school. We tossed Francine to the trunk of the car and drove to my house. I don't have to ask you how it went, Mom said. I could see by your faces. Disaster, I muttered. Embarrassing disaster, Gates said, shaking his head. I think we need to check out the programming again, I said. Gates and I did something wrong. Not a problem, Mom said. You may have just switched a few circuits in the memory pack. I left Francine in the garage till after dinner. We had salad and a pepperoni pizza, and Mom and Dad carried on about one of their favorite conversations. Are robots getting too smart? Mom thinks robots could be given enough intelligence to go out on their own and take over the world from humans. Dad thinks that scientists will never let that happen. They never get tired of discussing the subject. I could tell you one thing, I interrupted when most of the pizza was gone. Francine is not smart enough to take over for humans. She isn't smart enough to take over for a mosquito. Dad swallowed his last pepperoni. He started to stand up. Go get her, Livy. We'll take her down to the basement and check her programming again. I hurried to the garage and dragged Francine inside through the kitchen door. Mrs. Bernard had started on the dinner dishes. She spun around and just shoved Francine through the door. Oh my, she said, wiping her hands quickly on a dish towel. Do you have to bring that machine in the house? It is on, Mrs. B, I told her. It can't do any harm. She motioned to the kitchen walls. Look at them, Livy. Look. They're all stained. We couldn't get the yellow streaks off. I know, I replied softly. But my parents... That machine doesn't belong in the house. I'm not superstitious, but that thing is evil. I'm sure of it. My parents need to see it, I said. I'm sorry. I'll keep it out of the kitchen. I'll be careful with it, Mrs. B, I promise. She shook her dish towel at me, as if trying to wave me away. I couldn't hear what she was muttering under her breath as I dragged Francine through the kitchen and over to the basement door. Mom and Dad carried the robot down to their basement lab. I told you, it's a forbidden zone. I'm not allowed in there unless they invite me and bring me down. I went up to my room to try to concentrate on my reading assignment, but I felt tense and totally distracted. So far, Francine was an embarrassing failure, and I needed to know why. Mom and Dad knocked on my door less than an hour later. They walked into my room shaking their heads. They pushed Francine against the wall. Then they both dropped down on the edge of my bed. I turned my desk chair to face them. So, what did you find out? Nothing, Dad said, scratching the back of his head. My mouth dropped open. Nothing? What do you mean, nothing? We didn't find any programming at all, Mom said. The memory bank, it seemed to have been drained. I suddenly had a rock in the pit of my stomach. I gripped the top of my desk. You mean... There was no programming, Dad said. No code? Nothing. Mom squinted at me. Do you think you and Gates could have accidentally deleted it? I gasped. Huh? No way! How would we have done that? Dad shrugged. Mom bit her bottom lip. It's mysterious, she murmured. I jumped to my feet. Mysterious? It's impossible, I shouted. Do you know how many hours Gates and I spent programming the robot? Then testing the program? Then programming some more? Don't shout at us, Mom said. We're just telling you what we found. The memory unit was empty. I stammered. I have to call Gates. Maybe he has an idea. I shook my head. No, he won't. He'll be more horrified than me. Mom and Dad climbed to their feet. You saved the program, right? Dad asked. You saved it on your laptop? I nodded. So it won't be too hard to put the program in again, he said. I guess, I muttered. Well, take it back out to the garage, Mom said, heading to the door. It's freaking out Mrs. Bernard. And if you want your mom and me to help you reprogram it, Dad started. No, thanks. That would be cheating, I said. Gates and I will handle it, I sighed, and added, I guess. I listened to my parents walk down the stairs. Then I crossed the room to Francine. I put a hand on her shoulder. Did you do it? I asked. Did you erase your memory circuits? Of course, the robot didn't move in any way. I suddenly felt stupid. Am I going nutso? Why am I standing here asking questions to a mechanical robot? I swept my arm around the robot's waist and lifted her with one hand. I carried her out of my bedroom and down the hall to the stairs. My brain was spinning. How did Francine's memory just vanish? I suddenly had this wild idea. What if Rosa sneaked up into the art room before the robotics club meeting and deleted Francine's programming? Possible? No way. I instantly felt bad even thinking that Rosa would do that. For one thing, she wouldn't know which circus to mess with. Also, that would be too dirty a trick for anyone to play, even Rosa. I should be ashamed for thinking that. Holding tightly on to Francine, I started down the stairs. I couldn't wait to call Gates. Would he have any clue at all about what happened? I was on the fourth step down when Francine suddenly moved. She kicked out one of her steel legs. Hey! I let out a startled cry as I stumbled over her foot. I couldn't stop myself. I toppled forward, tangled up with her leg, and went bouncing headfirst down the wooden stairs. Ow! I screamed all the way down. Each step sent an explosion of pain down my body. The robot bounced on top of me, clanging at every impact. I hit the bottom and sprawled there on my stomach with my arms outstretched. The robot bounced over me and rolled into the hall. Stunned, I really did see stars. Red and yellow stars flashing and floating in front of me. I shut my eyes and waited for the pain to fade, but my whole body hurt so much I had to force myself to breathe. I heard running footsteps, and Mom appeared above me. Oh no! Livy! What happened? Are you okay? I groaned. I don't know. I pulled myself up onto my knees. Mom knelt beside me. She took me by the shoulders and helped pull me to my feet. Is anything broken? I tested my arms and legs. I took a step. No, I'm okay. Livy, you fell all the way down? A burst of anger helped wash away my pain. No, I cried. I pointed a finger at Francine on her side on the hallway floor. No, Mom. She tripped me. Mom gasped. She still had a hold of my shoulders. She turned me to face her. Stop it, Livy. You have to calm down. You're too wrapped up in this crazy idea that Francine can act on her own. She tripped me, Mom, I insisted. I saw her. She stuck out her leg. Seriously. The leg shot out and I fell over it. Mom let go of me and took a step back. You sure you're okay? Do we need to call Dr. Gerwin? I'm okay, I said. But do you believe me? Do you? No, Mom said. No, I don't believe the robot could trip you. For one thing, she has no memory, no programming at all. Now pick it up. I'll help you carry it to the garage. All the pain was nearly gone, but I was steaming. Isn't it a parent's job to believe her daughter? Okay, Mom, I thought. Maybe you don't believe me now, but I know this robot is thinking on its own, and I'm going to prove it. Slappy here, everyone. Well, too bad, kids. Livy and Gates are having much luck with Francine. Maybe they should melt her down and make a can opener. But I don't see the big fuss. When Francine comes to life, she makes trouble for Livy and Gates. When I come to life, I make trouble for everyone. Well, if you think that you've seen big butt trouble, just wait. In a few chapters, you'll be screaming, "It's alive! It's alive!"